Okay, this is Lab 3, Right Triangle Trigonometry for sine, cosine, and tangent for pre-calculus. And this is day one where we're practicing things that we've done before. And the one thing I want you to put at the very top of your paper is SOH CAH TOA, because that's sine opposite over hypotenuse, cosine adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent, which is opposite over adjacent, because that's what we're going to be using today and making sure. So I'm going to do a few of the problems here so that you can work on these. You have all the answers, and I even have the solutions there. So I'm going to start with number one. I'm going to skip around a little bit. The first thing I want you to do when you go to solve these is make sure you label them HUA so that you can figure out which one you're going to use. So I always look for the right angle. Across from that is my hypotenuse. Here is my angle I'm looking at. So opposite would be here, and this would be adjacent. So when I do all that, then I look at and say, oh, I have something next to the H and something next to the 10. So that's what I'm going to use over H. So I'm going to use sine. And they want us to solve for A. So I'm going to do the sine of 60 degrees equals the opposite, which is 10 over H, which is A. All right. Now, what I want you to do is, if it's one of the angles, the exact values that we had in our table, I want you to actually use your table to come up with that. So I looked at my table. I saw the sine of 60 degrees was radical 3 over 2 equals 10 over A. And then I'm going to cross multiply. Radical 3A equals 20. A equals 20 divided by radical 3. And then I have to rationalize that, radical 3 over radical 3. So it's 20 radical 3 all over 3. So that's choice C. That's how I want you to do that. So if you don't know, if it's not on your table, you don't have to use the radicals, but I want you to practice that using the radicals. Let's try number 2, the exact values. So here's my second one. I'm going to go through and label this HUA. And here's the angle I have. So across on the right angle is H, across my angle is O, and here's A. I have something by the O, which is our 2, and A we need to find. So O over H is sine. So I'm going to do the sine of 45 degrees equals opposite, which is 2, over my hypotenuse, A, which we're trying to find. Okay? So now I know the sine of 45 is on my table. That's radical 2 over 2 equals 2 over A. So I'm going to cross multiply. So I have radical 2 times A equals 4. A is 4 divided by radical 2. And then I'm going to rationalize that. So that's 4, that's 4 radical 2 over 2. And that'll reduce down to 2 radical 2, which comes out to be choice B. I know I'm kind of writing on the next one, but that's how you would do that one. All right, so I'm now going to do number 3. I'm just going to do some of these so you get used to it. And this throws people off, number 3 does, because they gave you 2 angles. But that just gives you a choice. You're still going to label it HUA, so this is still H. And your O and A depend on what you want to use. So I'm going to actually use the 60, but you don't have to. So this will be my O, and my A will be left over. Now, if you picked 30, it'd be the other way around. So I have something by the O and the A, so this is going to be tangent, okay? So the tangent of 60 degrees is going to be x, because we're looking for that, all over radical 3. I know that the tangent of 60 degrees is radical 3 equals x over radical 3. Now I'm going to cross multiply. X is going to be just 3, because radical 3 times 3 is 3. So that's choice A. All right, so you're going to go through and do all these. Now when you get to number 8 all the way to 25, and that's kind of cool because this will help you as well. They basically want you to draw the triangle in this method. So that's cool, because a lot of times when you go to do these, you get a little confused because you don't know how to draw the triangle. So I'm just going to do number 8 right here with you, and then I'll skip around and try to do some other ones. So it tells you, so I want you to draw the triangle so you can actually make sure you label it all. So here's C, that's my right angle. Here's B and A. It said if little b is 7, well, little b is going to be across from big B, so there's 7. And the measure of angle A up here is 30 degrees, so I'm going to label it. I arc it and put the degree measure inside. It says find A in simplest radical form. Well, A is here. So now I'm going to go through and label HUA. H, across from 30 is O and A. I have something by the O and the A, so this is going to be tangent of 30 degrees equals A over 7. Okay? Now I know the tangent of 30 degrees is radical 3 over 3 equals A over 7. Cross multiply, 3A equals 7 radical 3. And then we're going to divide by 3. So A is 7 radical 3 all over 3. So that it would be the answer to that. And remember, you have all the answers in your packet, and that is in simplest radical form. Okay, so let's look on the next page. And you're going to go through and you're going to use the exact same picture for all of these. I'm just trying to find one that's a little bit different here. And let's do 13. So 13 says, let me try that again. I keep hitting the screen. So here's my picture. I make it bigger than my